First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. Damn it! I'm Vator Games. This is Vator Games TV. Thanks for tuning in. This is a Manchester City fan live match reaction. This is to the City versus Chelsea game with a late equalizer that we're going to discuss. Everybody in the chat, good looking out. Blessings. Love as always. Let me remind you first and foremost, listen. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for being in the comments. I will bring your comments up to the screen. I'll do my best to stay up to speed with all of that. What I like to do each and every time when the show kicks off, whenever I go live, I gotta go and I gotta show love to the very first person in the building, showing me love, hitting that like button, being a part of the mix. And today, very first from the jump, 2026, we're off to a great start as a Vator Games TV community. So shout out to my man Dre P in the building. He goes, absolutely gutted. I share that. The injuries were really awful luck. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But really, City, I felt overcomplicated everything in the second half. We're gonna discuss all of it, man. We're gonna discuss all of it. Ack in the building. Vamos, Chelsea. Ash Ketchum goes, all right, we got some things to think about. We got some things to discuss. He wants to put the Sharks up or the Dolphins up. Big up. City's XG. See, this is why I don't get into the XG stuff. Because how it's calculated is also based off of the shot being taken. And I felt like sometimes we were trying to pass the ball in. I think we were a little too cute in front of the net. But we're going to discuss that. My girl Vanessa's in the building. Vanessa is in the building. She goes, Madrid beat Real Betis 5-1 without Mbappe. Also, Gonzalo Garcia. Wait, really? Vanessa, I'm not up to speed with anything that's happening outside. I am not up to speed with anything happening outside of the City game. I'm upset. I'm upset. My gal in the building. My gal this. So as upset as I am, I'm still gonna have a smile on my face. My gal in the building goes, Vader, what is this? City should have just kept the ball. Damn, I hate Chelsea for being so rough. What? We showed a lot of silliness. We showed a lot of immature play, which was really surprising. And even throughout that entire game, we should have controlled it a lot better. Well, I'm going to discuss all of that. Let me show love to everybody in the building. Teal, Foden, Holland, and Shirky can all stay on the bench. Absolutely useless. Whoa. Teal. What are we doing here? I'm going to say that one common theme with regards to today's game, right? Today's game with me talking about the front three, right? Talking about Foden, Shirky, and Holland was lack of urgency. And another word is value. A lack of urgency and a lack of value. I felt like we weren't valuing our possession. We weren't valuing how dangerous we had them at times, and we were little too chill, a little too cool with that final pass or even the shot that should have been taken. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. Let me see what's saying here. What's Ash saying? One XG of Chelsea came from the last goal. This is why I don't get caught up in the XG stuff, because even with regards to like shots off the post, off the crossbar, and things of that nature, like the XG is nice. Like it's nice when you want to just, oh, here's a point that I'm gonna emphasize. But if you watch that game, we were wasteful. Yes, anytime you play a game, the opposition's going to have opportunities to be in dangerous positions and have chance to score. That's how the game's played, right? The other team's never going to not have a sniff. But I felt it should not have been 1-0 going into the 80th minute. It shouldn't have. And I'm going to get into it. Teal goes, Donnarumma and Haaland are massively overrated. You're doing too much, Teal. Teal, listen, you're doing way too much if you're going to say those two players are overrated. Now, I don't know who you're talking to with regards to where they position Haaland, where they position Donnarumma, but Haaland, the way he's talked about in this chat, he is not overrated. Now, should he have scored? Yes. More than one goal, in my opinion. Chelsea also had those situations when they didn't make the right pass. Exactly. They weren't as clinical as they should have. Some of their final passes, even with regards to Cole Palmer, didn't have a good game. Cole Palmer he was losing possession too much. I think Foden was taking too many risky second level passes where he had the easier pass just to have. I felt that was happening way too much in this game. We were inviting the loss of possession, and for them to then run out, they were not going to press us to get the ball. They were going to get the ball if we were lazy with it, if we were sloppy with it, and that's what happened. We did that way too much. Vanessa, yeah, Gonzalo's turn into Ronaldo at Madrid. Better without him. Hey, that's going to be some controversy over there. I'm gonna link up, see what my man Will says over at Carnage, and see what he happens to say. But can't keep Real Madrid out very long. Teal goes, forget about the league title. Can bet Brighton will take points off City. Teal, I feel like you need to go for a walk. I feel like you need to, take a walk to the fridge, pour some water, sit down. Here's a really good trick when you're kind of stressed, when you feel overwhelmed, when you just want to clear your head and just get your thoughts straight, level out. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Inhale. Swallow that water. It'll calm you right down. You'll think clearly. Your thoughts will be laser focused. Just take a second. Giving up on this title? Are you crazy, Teal? As upset as I am? Listen, we're going to talk about the game. DJ, you could feel it was coming. We asked for trouble. I hated, you know what? When I saw that it was like 6 minutes, I was hoping for 3. When I saw that it was 6, I was like, damn. And I was messaging, we need the second goal. Dre P goes, Haaland I thought was quite decent. He was decent. I think he forced a few shots as well, Dre P. I felt like he was obviously at the top of the box, kind of centered. 2 defenders in front of him. I think, again, when we talk about final decision, I think he could have laid a pass off. There was one he could have done for Reinders. And just a little too wasteful. My girl DC said her name a little earlier in the chat. She goes, big up Vator and chat. We take the point and move. Do we take it and move? I think we take it and discuss. We take the point and move. Let's hope the injuries aren't too bad. Now, this is what I'll also talk about a little later. The injuries are stressing me out. And I mentioned this, I think the last show I did. We got CIA tonight. Around 10 UK time. That's going to be a tough one. But I talked about how we don't have the squad of Arsenal, so we need to be proficient. We need to keep these available bodies healthy, and the rotation that Pep needs to do needs to be on point. Apologies for that. But if Nico G is not going to be available, if the departure of Gavardio in that game is going to be a thing, it's going to be long. It's going to be a long fight without those. And does that change anything with regards to the January transfer window? Ketchum goes, I agree. There were like 3 moments in the second half where if you beat the one defender with the cross, it's a goal. Yeah, we were sloppy. And it wasn't just one player. It was a few. And it was in that final third. It was a little, it was a little too lax. A little too like, oh, we're here. We'll get another. I did not like it. DJ goes, Foden has to just roll to Shirky for a free shot on goal. He's not the only one. There's Foden. I think even Shirky could have released the pass a little sooner. The pass that was released, was it to Holland? I think it was a pass released to Holland. That could have been just a fraction sooner. We were poor. Let me see if I'm missing any new names in the chat. I see you. Prodigy in the building. He goes, Boss man McFarland did good today. Manager Bounce got us. The Pride of London show today. Ketchum, no offense, but the Pride of London was a problem today. I can't lie. Dre P. All sorts of fancy little passes, waiting for the pressure. I get it. We do that because we want players out of the space. But we were just, and when you clock that the referee is not giving you like the shoulders in the back, if he's not calling it, guys, move the ball. Don't invite all that stuff. We know the ref, and I'm watching the game obviously over here in Toronto. I'm watching the game on TV, and I'm seeing some of these late heel step-ons, right? Cole Palmer got the Achilles. Was it the Achilles of Nunez, if I remember? Maybe Gavardio, I can't remember. And then that was happening a few times. Even Reece James, like this ref was not calling it. And he's got a mic in his ear, right? He's got a mic in his ear. They should have been telling him, like, you missed that one again. Watch for the late step-ons. He let it go all freaking game. We need to fix up and play through that. Man City players today, body language at the end was telling. No. Nah, I gotta stop you. Now, what I saw with the body language at the end of the game was, I'm not gonna go so far to say it was exhaustion, but they were fatigued. Bernardo was trying to get as much oxygen in his lungs when he was hands on his knees, like breathing. The same thing was happening for many of those players that started and ended the game. Now, let me put a star in this and catch back up, because y'all have been amazing with the comments, and I don't want to disrespect that. Y'all flying through the comments, to be honest with you, so keep pace with me. But I want to say this. When we scored the first goal, we should have had one or two before that. Let's be real. When Reinders scored that goal, I thought, ooh, we got a lucky one here, but we should have scored sooner, right? And it was interesting that we obviously need to be looking for Holland, and I feel we did a better job in terms of like holding that ball a little longer, letting the defense get into space and trying to find him. But I think he also needs to recognize that sometimes he can be the assister, even though it goes into him. And it was a little forced at times. But Reiner's goal was brilliant. Obviously, it kind of like a lucky roll or deflection because it was intended for Holland, got to Reiner's. But Reiner's finish, quality. The way he runs into the box, right? The way he's able to kind of like, again, play off of Holland, I think it's brilliant. And I know he's not two-footed like Shirky, but he seems to be comfortable shooting with his left or right. I was really happy with the goal. I was happy that we had that going into half, and then it was kind of like, okay, now it is the day before going back to school for the kids and the typical work day coming up and all that stuff. So I didn't jump into any chats or anything like that. Halftime, I was multitasking. I could only imagine some of the conversation in terms of Pep, let's have these guys play quicker. Let's not have them set up defensively. But I thought even though they were setting up defensively, I thought we were still able to pick out our spots. I thought that we were just wasteful. So now the second half comes about and we created opportunities again. Did Chelsea have a few? Yes. Was it like, oh my days, this is going to be super long? No, but as every minute continued, as the game got later and later and later, now my stress levels are raising up. Now I'm standing up. Now I'm standing up by the TV and I'm watching and I'm seeing where these passes are going to go. I felt we were in control of that game until the injuries start to hit us. And when the injuries hit us, you saw us a lot more disorganized. You saw us second guessing where to pass, where players were going to be. It is what it is. I'm not going to go and be like, you know what, had us not had those changes, is it a different story? I don't know. But then you can do the same thing for Chelsea because they had key players missing. But all in all, we looked confused based off of some of those subs. I gotta say, I really hope post-conference that we hear good news with regards to Gavardio. Hopefully it's just like it's just the initial impact, right? It's nothing too crazy. Reiner's getting subbed off. I think that was purely tactical. Who did I want to mention now? Even now, I've been defending Delap as a former academy player for time. It ends today. I know we're all competitive. That's all cool. His reaction with that end of play, Kostanov getting into the boards, the defense is over. Liam Delap, I'm no longer reminding Chelsea fans. I'm not telling them you're welcome for Delap. It's over. That reaction there at the home, at City's home, no, unacceptable. He's done. That's done. And the game now. How we concede the late equalizer. Listen, I'm not going to bash. I'm not going to kill O'Reilly. I'm not. All right? This is one of those where how we were defending made sense to me. Where we were set up, all cool. I think he got a little too tight. Only because you could tell when he put that foot out and he had to now run back, he's that tad slower. He's that tad winded and wasn't able, head down, looking down at your feet when you're running. That's a terrible. First of all, listen, I got a running background. If you are fatigued and you're trying to power your way through, dropping your head is the worst thing to do. All right, it's the worst thing to do. I know. Maybe in your head it makes sense because you're kind of like powering out, but posture-wise, you drop your head. It's terrible. So once I saw that and he's trying to get back into position, I was just praying for a poor delivery. But what was it? It was Gusto who gave that delivery. Gustavo, right hand side. I think so. So the delivery was on point. To be fair, one or two Chelsea fans could have scored that. Again, Donnarumma, thank you for actually getting a hand on it. I don't think you get a hand on it and you catch that just the way he had to stretch out. I don't think you pull that in like that. But to also not have someone on to help with the clearance, it's on us. And we did it to ourselves. We've dropped points again, 2 games in a row. Now, half full, undefeated to start 2026. Don't kill me in the chat. Listen, we're undefeated to start 2026. Okay? But we don't have a win in 2026. That is bad. Tough game versus Sunderland. Another tough game versus Chelsea in actuality, but on paper it should have been easy. You clearly saw that these players were playing with tremendous pride. Chelsea were playing with tremendous pride, not looking to be embarrassed, not looking to put in a stinker, and they deserve the draw, especially because of how ineffective we were with regards to our goal scoring. Let me try to catch up with the chat, guys. So annoying. Let me start backwards here. Marvin in the building, talking amongst yourselves a bit, but he goes, for the remaining games, I see them drop 3 points max. I see City dropping way more than that. It's done, brother. Have you seen the away fixtures? I don't, listen, Marvin, I don't do the Miss Cleo fortune teller tea leaves reading of the fixtures game by game, right? Now, we have I need to hear what Pep says in the press conference. I need to know the availability of some of these players. I also need to see what the club decides to do in Jan, because that can be something that can change things dramatically. But no, I'm not one of these to look at the home away fixtures, look at what we did last year versus said club, and this is how things are going to play out. Now we need to play this out. We need to play this out, and this is how it's going to go. I'm working backwards. Spartacus goes, from personal experience, I don't think the Josko injury will be a long one. A little sprain, it's very painful, but 1 to 2 weeks should be back. I think it got like a little twist, a difficult landing. I think that's what he might be dealing with. Lee, not gonna lie, but I think we should have changed our formation to a 5-4-1 when there was 10 minutes left. Again, even when you say that, do we need to do that when there's 10 minutes left, or maybe do we do that with regards to final time? Because we weren't giving them that much. I also want to say, when we're in the 80-something minute, I don't want to see us do any attacks where it's us 2v3, 2v4. Let's wait. Let's walk it. Let's wait for some supporting players so that we can have the ball, play around, recycle it. I don't like that I'm still seeing a little too direct play. It's a little too direct that late in the game, especially when sub-wise, you don't have the legs to really cover with regards to tracking back. We had Foden still on that pitch. We had Shirky still on that pitch. We had Bernardo Silva still on that pitch with regards to having to keep up with the pace in terms of tracking back. It's a difficult task. Abdu goes, bad management of chances, especially Shirky. Okay, player-wise, okay, I hear you. Foden, I blame him for one pass. Should have given Shirky when he was alone. Yeah, but still, I don't think that was going to score. In the final third, to have cost us goals, that blame can go. You can spread that around, whether it's Foden, Shirky, Holland. Rodri looked really good to me. I can't lie. Even some of the final passes from O'Reilly. Now, I think early, I didn't take a note. Please forgive me. I didn't take a note. But Doku released a pass that just bypassed the whole midfield, and it was like now running downhill. That should have been a goal. We were wasteful. We were so damn wasteful. Gusto smoked O'Reilly on that side. He got a little too close, and then he delivered a great cross. The Bernardo obsession. Okay, Marvin, are you trying to tell me you didn't like what you saw from Bernardo this game? Bernardo should have had that shot on target. Again, XG and all that stuff. But when he was kind of like flirting a little bit, putting on the left, and then he skied it a little too high, didn't have the composure. I liked what he was doing. Even with regards to how he was on that right-hand side, he was cooking a little bit, recycling the ball, getting past, kind of getting in. I don't think it was terrible. Now, he was gassed, and even though he was gassed, when it goes to like not letting them be comfortable in possession, he was still putting in that work. We need options. We need options with regards to being able to take off of Bernardo and still have someone with that same type of energy that many want to clown in terms of hard worker or runners, right? We need to have players. Obviously, technical ability. You can't take nothing away from Ronaldo. Tremendous technique, but he's also a runner. We need more of that. We need more of that. Dre P agreed with me and he goes, agreed, Vader. The injuries did confuse the passing. That's exactly why I think we should have just kept it simple. Yeah. Once Dre, once we entered extra time and I saw 6 minutes, I thought it was gonna be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do even if we did a 4-5-1. Like I was expecting us just to not let Cole Palmer get that ball. I thought it was gonna be one of those. We were just gonna be relentless like that, and we weren't. It's very poor. Let me see where y'all are at with these. I'm trying to catch up with these comments real quick. All right. Bad match plan from Pep into the ping pong trap. Did he get it? I don't think he got into the ping pong trap. I think he saw that we were getting into those positions to score. It wasn't so much up and down, honestly. And it's not like Chelsea were so direct that it was like one pass and they're in. I can't say that I can't say that the plan was bad. We weren't finishing. And from a ping pong standpoint, I think had he been on the sideline yelling, guys, hold possession, get to the corner flag, or recycle it, pass it back to Donnarumma, have Chelsea all come all the way back to have to press and get possession. I think that's kind of fair, especially late in the game. That's fair. After stoppage, the players kind of amount and start playing. We were poor. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say here, Blue, but yeah, we were poor. Ketchum goes, Vader, the sample size of Holland not scoring and City not winning is growing larger and larger. But Ketchum, I think it's still a lazy thing to emphasize when you look at who else could have scored today. Like, I get if you want to do cause and effect or you want to just go based off results. City have not won, which I don't think is true. But Ketchum, if you look at games that City have won without Holland scoring, I believe the last game we won. Did we have a game where it was Reinders? Wasn't it Reinders, Shirky, and Foden that scored and we won, if I remember correctly? Like, I get what you're saying, but it's kind of skewed too because Holland is so damn good at scoring. So when he doesn't score, we don't have to. But hey, rivals want to flex that. I hear it. I'll entertain it. The bigger game, the smaller phone becomes. J-Dub, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You can't look at that game and now Foden had poor moments, 100%. Did he play small? Nah. And I'm curious to hear what Pep was telling him post-match. No shot on goal except the goal in the first half, and Holland hit the post. Yeah, we were getting ourselves into dangerous positions and not shooting the freaking ball. Daniel in the building. Man goes, good game, Blue Cartel. Sorry, we didn't let you win, but we had to show Maresca what. Daniel, don't do that. Daniel, do not. Maresca's the problem? Nah, you're a joker. You're a joker. You cannot mean that. You cannot. Please tell me in the chat that you do not mean that, and that is strictly for jokes. Please, I'm not having that. That's crazy. Teal goes, that 1 in 14 still haunting this team. It's not haunting, but it's a work out of. This is the new group that are learning to trust themselves, trust each other, right? You don't just overnight, as some may believe, you don't just overnight go from a departure of Gundogan, KDB, even with regards to like from a trusted moments pass wise, even in Ederson. You don't go from those players being so important to you to then being like, okay, yep, we trust everybody and we know what each of you are gonna do when you're under some pressure or things are kind of tense or yeah, they're not there yet. They're not there yet. I think Pep is prepping. Pep is developing this next batch of winners. And you see all the cussing of Savio. He was missed the second after. The scapegoating of players is something that I really don't entertain. I let people talk what they want. I let people say what they want to say, but yeah. City is becoming everything they mock Arsenal. Wait, Teal, what are you talking about? What are you? What have City be? What? Explain this. Low, we gotten worse, bro. We had a poor game. 2 games now, 2 draws, difficult games. To say we've gotten worse, I would agree with you if it's based off of player availability. But I don't think these players have lost the ability. I don't think that Pep's approach towards the game, I don't think the effectiveness of what these players can do is gone. I'm not gonna go there. Marvin, come on, Vader. I love Bernardo, but he's no middleman. But he's so middleman at this point in his career. He's Klay Thompson now, legend, but shouldn't be starting on a championship team. All right, Marvin. I will agree that Bernardo should not be playing 90 minutes on a regular basis as he's been doing for City. But I also see that beyond the GA, how crazy valuable he is. So I don't think he should be 90 minutes every game. I don't think he should have been playing this game for 90 minutes. But he's not. It's not time to say see you later. It's not time to brush him off. Not yet. Vanessa, the GOAT, Vader, keep it up. I appreciate it, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Trey P. What's your thought on the set piece, Vader? I think that's, again, fallen off and will cost City if we don't improve. How many corners did we even have today? I think the way we're defending set pieces is actually good. I think our defense against set pieces is nice. There were only, we had 8 corners today? Did not feel like it. Although a few times we had back-to-back corners, right? Will it cost us? I think, JP, I kind of said this before. I would like to see us create a set piece opportunity because everybody is so reactive to get to the first ball. I think if we're able to pinpoint, like we did the one game where I think it was Foden to Gavardiol and Gavardiol to Shirky. I think if we're able to do things like that, right? If Holland's got a chance, obviously put it on target. But if he's not able to sky over someone, if he knocks it back into like a congested area where City players are, and then we just put it on net, I think maybe that's something. Hey, it's Frank, right? Frank French or French Frank French. I think let's leave it to the set piece. He's got to fix up. Defended well. You guys were good. I felt like Holland was getting to some spaces. Even some of the release passes should have been there, but yeah, I'm not too upset. All right, Daniel. I respect that. You're saying it for jokes and bants. All right, I'm cool with that because Maresca's not the problem over there. Blue, we're playing on our gaff. This Chelsea ain't got no manager. True, no Cucurella, no Caicedo. Yeah, this should have been something. I'm in agreement. I was like, this is a 2-1-3-1, and I thought it was gonna be like a comfortable. It'll be late in the game, and they're just gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna save our legs. Chelsea, we're gonna save our legs for the next game. I thought it was gonna be one of those, and now we got to show some fight because this run of form is horrible. Yeah, I don't know what the Arsenal City comparison's all about. Like we're becoming what we're becoming what we joked Arsenal about. I don't know what that is. Um, Now, whether Teal's an Arsenal fan or City fan or whatever, it's they can be whatever they want. But I'm just trying to understand, how are we becoming what we have mocked or said Arsenal are? I just don't get it. Catch them. I've seen Chelsea fans gassing up the squad again. This is why. um, there's something in the catch them. There's something in the water in London. There's something about London fans, London club fans. They're so emotional and reactionary. I mm, Chelsea had a good game. I think City had a poor game as well. Poor game at home. Not scoring a second or third is not a good look. I think we're now even on goal differential with Arsenal, which isn't good. Obviously, we scored tons of goals, but the goal differential is matched. Um, that's that could also be a title decider. So we need to fix up. We need to fix up, and it's yeah. I hope the news isn't terrible with regards to players' availability. Um, don't you, the Rico Lewis, can do the job of Bernardo as good, if not better. I really see him as the best resort, not the first option. Rico Lewis not being trusted to play to close out this game. See what it means moving forward. I think that would be tough for Rico. Um, could he do the late game pressing or being in possession? Yeah, I think he could. Better than Bernardo at the tired stages of a game? Absolutely. Maybe that's something Pep will look at. Um, City Villa. Is the pressure getting to City? I don't think this game result was City feeling pressure, to be honest with you. I think the approach to the game, I think the attempts to try and score, I think it was honestly, I'm saying this, I don't think there was the urgency, and I think there was such a low value on possession and goal scoring opportunities. Like, yeah, it was way too chill. I hate it. I hate it. Um Absolutely no way Rico Lewis match Bernardo at no time, no place. Yeah, if Bernardo is like on dead legs, can't run, yeah, Rico can do a job on there. And I think even Rico's most effective on the right hand side of the pitch. So, yeah. Now, listen, this is a press conference. I had to talk about the goals. I also have to now, before I leave you, talk about what this means. We are now 6 points off Arsenal. So it would require them to lose at the very least, and us to beat them if things remain the same until we see them. All right. So I'm always been a fighter, always. And until it's mathematically impossible, there's no talk about this title race being done. Some of you in the chat can go that way. That's cool. Teal, if you want to say it's over, I'll let you say that. Marvin, if you got a little pessimistic with regards to where things will go, that's all cool. But we need Arsenal to drop one game at the very least, and we need to handle business when we play them. All right, because it's now a 6 point lead. A lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Now, I am Vator Games. This is Vator Games TV. I've got to link up with a few, as well as CIA. And CIA, I'm going to send out the moon signal. I'm going to send out the blue moon signal, and we'll see who all responds with regards to CIA tonight. But subscribe if you haven't. Please hit that like button if you haven't as well, because it does get this out to other City fans and anyone on that enjoys football YouTube. But man, credit to Chelsea with how well they played. No manager, key players missing. They put up a fight. Were we wasteful? Yes. Were we feeling the pressure? No. And any body language reading, you saw players that were like exhausted out there. I'm not sure what Pep does in terms of player rotation, because we can't keep playing the same 11 or 12 game after game, especially when we're playing every 4 days. But this is going to be crucial. This is going to be key. A key run to go. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Catch me on CIA Intelligent Agendas and Just Like a Press Conference. I'm walking out.